So for today's bite, I want to talk a little bit about some of the work we're doing at OneGraph to make OneGraph and GraphQL as accessible as possible, and also some of the ideas that maybe you can take away for your apps as well. In particular, today I'll talk about how data-driven error design can actually lead to much better user experience and much less code on your part as a developer. So in this case, we have lots of tools that we've built out to make exploring GraphQL as easy as possible. I have this visual explorer over here. And so maybe as a new user, you're kind of exploring the services, you see Twilio and messages, and you come in here and maybe you want to add in, some fields, and you've built up a query that you feel pretty happy with. And now you want to go ahead and run this, but you're not going to be authenticated. So even though we handle authentication for all these different services, you may not be aware of that yet. So I'll go ahead and run this, and you'll see that this button, Login with Twilio, automatically popped up. And the reason that we're able to do that instead of pushing to this more generic authentication UI is that with OneGraph, we try to canonicalize all of our errors and give enough data so that the program can actually react in a generic way so that the code is as simple as possible, but in a way that it is responsive to the needs of the user. So in this case, I'm not logged in, right? So we're able to pluck out the type and switch off of that. We see that then if it's a missing auth type of error, that we go ahead and pull off the service. We prompt you to log in with this. So we'll come in here, we'll authorize, and now I'll be able to run this query, and it just works. So this is a much, much nicer and much smoother gradient to walk up when building a GraphQL query, learning about authentication step by step along the way. Our UI can react, and yet we only have to check for two different cases. So the type of the error and then the service, and then prompt you for that. So this is a nice way to kind of design your API in a way that actually drives your UI in a way that's pleasing for the user and for you as a developer.